So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to split audio up in different ways and also take that audio and put it in a sampler, the EXS24 within Logic, so you can manipulate the sample or play certain sections back. So the easiest way to do this, if you've got the time, is scissor tool, come in and cut. Now, this can be quite tedious and you want to cut each sample out. If you've got an easy sample like this, the drum loops, and you've got it to a smart snap, it will snap bang. If you go near the transients peaks, it will pretty much snap for you. So that is quite a good way to do it. If you know that your drum loop's in time, what you can do is, if you get the scissor tool and hold the Alt key, you can see there's a plus comes next to the scissors. Now choose from the start point to the length of each section you want. So say you wanted it in beats, you can just click there and it will split all of your selections up into beats of the bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is you can use strip silence, which I've got up here. I've just customized my toolbar, but if you haven't got it up there, you can right click and you've got split and strip silence. So if you click on that, let's just take this to 0% so you can see. If you drag the threshold up, it will start to remove. It's a bit like a gate, and it will strip the silence. So we're making these into new regions. So with this sort of loop, you probably don't need to go too high. So we could go, for example, up to there, hit OK, and it'll split them in the sections that we want. What we can also do, especially with drums and quite heavy transients like that, is if we can right click again, if we want to put this straight into a sampler, we can just go convert to new sampler track. If you click next, you've got regions. So if we've cut them all up already, how we wanted to, if we use scissors, or if we just use that strip silence tool that I said and then selected all of the parts, all of the regions, it'll put each region on a separate note. That's what would happen if you clicked that. So at the minute we've only got one big region, so when you hit the keyboard, it'll only play on one note, the full length sample. So if we trimmed this up into, say, each beat of the bar, like I did earlier, and selected all them regions and then hit OK here, it'd put each region on a separate note over 16 keys. So that's one way of doing it, cutting it up yourself, selecting all the parts, hit regions, hit OK. Or if we got, especially with drums, it's very easy with drums because, as I said, the transients are so obvious. You can hit transient markers and then hit OK. It will search for the transients. You'll see, and it's created another instrument here. Let me just drag that up underneath. What it does is it will play each sample. So if you play it back, it will create the MIDI data so it mimics the exact sample. So if we hit play now, so it's actually typed in the MIDI data for us to replicate that actual sample. But what you can do instead is play the keyboard, and all the transients will be on separate keys. If we come into EXS and edit, you will see all the samples that it's cut up and all the transients there. I would advise you, if you're using drums, to select all of these and tick this one shot box. What that will do is when you hit the keyboard and take your finger off, it will still continue to finish out that sample. It won't just cut it there. When you're playing back drums especially, let's cancel that for a sec. Especially when you're playing drums, you want the whole sample to play, because you can get these little clicks at the end where the sample's cutting out not at a zero point. So now you can play around and create your own drum loops. And you can just play around with whatever you want to do. And you can do the same with any sample. So if we clicked here, say for example, I cut these, let's show you the regions. So let's cut this at each beat of the bar. So again, get the scissor tool, hold the Alt key, splits all them into regions. We can highlight all of them, Control and click, convert to new sampler track. This time if we select regions, so all of these regions will be a separate note on the keyboard, click OK, it'll do that, all that for us. This time if we keep one shot off, it means that when we let go it will finish the track. Now that's a lot of fun, to deal with. A lot of people use that sort of idea of sampling in that way. And again, you can come into here, keep one shot on, you can change pitch on the instruments. And just have a little play around. So yeah, that's just a quick way of cutting up samples, putting them into different regions, and also getting them into EXS so you can play them back. Have some fun, use some samples, create some samples yourself, record some vinyl, whatever. It's a lot of fun. Cheers.